Today's special bonus edition of the BS podcast on the Ringer Podcast Network, brought to you by ZipRecruiter, our presenting sponsor. And now that I've met them in person, I feel a little closer to them. I got to be honest. Went down there. They have a nice view of the ocean. I always judge all my businesses by whether you have a view of the ocean or not. That's when you know you're doing well. Needless to say, we do not have a view of the ocean at the Ringer, Tate.
No.
Someday.
Maybe.
Someday. 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. Their powerful technology distributes your job to dozens and dozens of the web's leading job boards and identifies the right people with the right experience and invites them to apply to your job. My listeners can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/BS. Someday you can have an ocean view. Meanwhile, BMW. God, I love BMW. I've been driving BMWs for the past 12 years. Their all-new Bmw X3 has the level of performance you expect from a BMW, and iDrive 6.0 with an intuitive touchscreen, available safety features like active blind spot detection, next-generation xDrive intelligent all-wheel drive. Oh, man, I need to test drive this one. You can test drive it, the all-new Bmw X3 at your local BMW center today. BMW only makes one thing, the ultimate driving machine. College basketball has heated up. Do not forget about Against All Odds with Cousin Sal and the degenerate trifecta, who really all they live to do is to give you who they think is going to win the semifinals of the WAC tournament. That's your go-to stop for that. We also have One Shining Podcast with Tate and Titus that not only are they throwing up podcasts and micro podcasts and all that stuff, but they're doing stuff for the Ringer Instagram as well. So keep your eyes open on that during the weekend. Tate, what are we most excited for this weekend, college basketball?
I'm excited for Tulane Temple this week.
Okay. That's it?
Mike Dunleavy Sr. versus Fran Duffy. Little old school action.
Mike Dunleavy Sr. is coaching?
Still coaching. Tulane.
What?
Yeah. That's the beauty of college basketball.
God,
Everyone's got a job.
He was such a bad Clipper coach. That's unbelievable. Is there a chance he could coach against Avery Johnson at some point?
There's a chance in the tournament if
wow.
Tulane wins it out.
God, that would be great. So check that out. We'll be covering the riveting subplots like Mike Dunleavy Sr. Is he going to be in the tournament?
No, they're the 10 seed in the American Conference.
Oh, they could make it, though.
They got to win.
All right, I'm rooting for them. I would love the chance to make fun of his coaching one last time. So check that out. If you missed part one of this podcast with Chris Bosh, we put it up yesterday, and I really enjoyed it. I've been waiting to talk to this guy in a long-form way for a while, and I knew he had it in him. He's great. Here's part two, but first, I got to do it. Here they are. One more time. Pearl Jam. This is the decade of, I think people, you think about when LeBron made the decision and people were so mad and nobody thought of people just say, I include myself. People think of athletes as these are the guys, we watch them, we root for them or we root against them. They're not real people.
Yeah.
There's some sort of distance.
Yeah.
And as the course of this decade went along, that distance is gone. Like, we're taping this on a Tuesday. Kevin Love wrote this piece on Players Tribune today about, basically mental health and some of his issues with it. And it was so personal. This is happening all the time between Twitter, Instagram, these Players Tribune pieces, podcasts.
Yeah.
And the distance is now gone. And I think Durant took a lot of heat for the Golden State thing, but also he came on my podcast 4 times last year. We talked about all kinds of shit. Yeah. We talked about all kinds of shit. And this is a guy who's might be the best basketball player in the world right now.
Yeah.
Giving his thoughts on everything.
He's
and that's just
good.
kind of where we are in 2018.
Yeah.
I like it. What do you think?
I'm kind of mixed on it. I'm on the fence about it. I think for one, I understand both sides. Yeah. I understand that this is the age of information. The internet has allowed everybody to share. And at the same time, it's brand awareness of basketball players, which is great. They realize that it's more than just the game.
So you're saying it's not, you don't think it's 100% genuine, or you think
it's
it's just part of the game?
It's a part of the game because the game's getting bigger, right?
Yeah.
So wherever you go in the world, if you play in NBA, and that's been my experience, you go anywhere in the world, people know who you are. And so you have that voice and that platform to express yourself. And then I was raised by old school guys in the game, and it was always about competition and protecting yourself. So like with Kevin, in Kevin's instance, him writing that piece, and I read it, it was great. As a competitor, I would look how to exploit that.
Interesting.
Now, it's great for being awareness and mental health, and that's absolutely fantastic, and you need that. But then there's a side at the same time where it's like, oh, okay, your enemy is going to read that. And that's great that we're all friends, but at the end of the day, it's one trophy.
Right.
And
information is currency.
Information is definitely currency. And so, yeah, I mean, you allow people to you allow people in, which is great, but then you allow guys on the other team in. So it's it's a balance.
Did you feel that with Dallas in 2011 with those guys were talking all kinds of shit, and once they smelled blood in the water with LeBron, they were really going at him and trying to get in his head.
They were yeah, I mean, it was a great learning
Jason
experience.
Terry's still talking.
Yeah, I think it was in our heads because for me, I'm from Dallas. So I was back home and I had that pressure to deal with. Like I remember watching like a couple years later, some of my old high school teammates with Dallas gear on. Not teammates. It was a teammate.
Okay.
It was a teammate actually. But some people from my high school was like wearing Dallas Mavericks gear. And you
were like, okay.
I said, oh, okay, that's cool. That's what we doing now. That's cool. And I know we haven't spoken, but I see how you feel.
Yeah.
I see who you're supporting. The line is in the sand, bro. He's got on Dallas gear. I couldn't believe it. And that's after they beat us.
Right.
So I'm like, you're a bandwagon dude. You know it. I know it. That's messed up, man. You didn't go for the Mavericks. You wasn't wearing Mavericks gear back then. Yeah. And then a person is against the Mavericks. And this is, okay, that's cool.
I was always interested during that whole Miami experience. It seemed like you were really cerebral about the whole thing, even as it was happening. I think Battier was too.
I had to be.
Where both of you guys were kind of like, this is weird. I'll never be in another experience like this in my life.
Yeah, you have to like, I don't know what the word is, but you have to rationalize. Yeah, you have to rationalize what's going on because irrational things happen.
Yeah.
And you have to kind of say, all right, well, yeah, this is because. And then for me, I started studying all the championship teams. I started a deep study of that, and I kind of found some clues in there. And so
this is part of what my basketball book was about. So you must have read the Aziz Moore, Pat Riley.
I read your book.
Yeah.
I read your book. I didn't read Pat Riley's book. It wasn't that intense. I told Pat I was going to read his books. I think I'm ready to read his books now. But as a player, But like, yeah, I mean, I would watch the Celtics.
There's a lot of lessons from history with
Many
basketball.
great lessons, man.
Yeah.
And I watched them all. And I watched Jordan and those guys. There was a lot to learn through them. I watched Shaq and those guys, Shaq and Kobe, Jordan and Pippen in their 2-3-peat, the back-to-back double clutch in Houston.
Yeah.
The 80s with Bird and Magic. The Pistons getting theirs. I mean, in that study, I didn't realize that the Pistons lost in L.A., a Game 7 in L.A.
Oh, my God.
That was a bad call. That was not a foul.
It was terrible. Well, then.
Not a foul at all.
You're talking about the one on Kareem.
Yes.
Thank you.
Not a foul. And but.
Yeah, the Laker fans don't want to admit that they won the title on a little touch foul.
Hey.
Little tiny one.
Take it however you get it, man.
By the way, they beat us. They beat us in '87 because they jumped over McHale's back for the rebound on Kareem's missed free throw in Game 4.
Was it?
Yeah. It's not like I don't still think about that or anything. But yeah.
And that's how it happens.
Yeah.
So in that, you learn that there are these little moments in sports that happen. Now, did he go over his back?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, he went over his back, but there were still more plays to be made. And sometimes you get in a position where you're either going to rise to the occasion or, you get beat.
I'm always amazed by how much injuries play a factor in the title year to year when you look back and you pile it up. Like, even you look at D. Rose going down when he did in 2012, which was the only reason the Celtics were even in the Eastern Finals. Mm-hmm. But, I think you probably would have beaten Chicago, but it was nice.
You wanted to see them fully kind of healthy.
was somebody that gave you guys trouble too.
Yeah,
you know?
he was.
They had, and Tibbs, he's crazy, and the Chicago fans are great, and
you were still able to ground and pound a little bit.
Yeah,
and it was still kind of more of that feeling in the NBA. It wasn't as fast as it is now.
Yeah,
and they could kind of. They were like, they were huge. They were a heavyweight.
They were old school. Indiana
Brawler.
was probably the last old school team with Hibbert.
Yeah, for sure.
Which 3 years later, all of a sudden, that team makes no sense at all. Your game was interesting because when you started shooting threes, I remember I had the prehistoric reaction of like, the fuck is that guy doing? Get near the rim.
Yeah.
How are you helping them? Right? And nobody understood the concept of A, 3 points are worth more than two.
Yeah.
B, spreading the floor is great. C, now you're opening things up for LeBron to get into the paint.
Well, that's
you're not
what it was
clogging
about.
the lane.
We had two
We eventually
attackers.
realized it, but
yeah, we had two attackers, and I had to, kind of really go deep into our team and kind of see who we were.
Yeah.
I was the two guard.
right.
Brian and D were the classic kind of postmen. Those are our post players. It just so happens that LeBron was our point guard too, and Dwayne played off the ball.
Yeah.
And he can play the pick and roll too. But post guys, those were our paint guys, and they could get there a bunch of different ways, but they're physical.
Well, now the skills, you had, especially those last couple seasons, that's probably the number one thing everyone wants right now in basketball. They're obviously the creator guy first, but then the big who can guard anybody on one end, but then stretch the floor on the other is like, that's it. That's what people want. You should have trademarked it. They should be calling that position the Bosh.
Damn, I should have.
Where were you?
I will remember that.
All
man.
right, put that down.
Man. But it's funny to watch it change. It started in 08, 07, 08. In Toronto, I played the five. I pretty much played the five my whole career.
Yeah.
I played the five as a rookie. Even when I was smaller, it wasn't in a concept from stretching the floor, but it was just that's all we had.
A
at the
roster
time.
issue, yeah.
Yeah, and then we drafted Andrea Bargnani, and so we had to figure out how to play together.
By the way, nobody ever figured that out with Andrea Bargnani. Sorry, Andrea Bargnani, but a lot of people ask that question.
Yeah, but essentially I was the five. You know,
Yeah.
I would roll to the basket, and I began seeing how, it kind of affected the game. And we had Phoenix. They would call us the Phoenix of the East at the time. And you have Phoenix, and Phoenix started doing that. It was like, what do we do? Nobody knew what to do in the league. And then in 08, in the Olympics, I got to play with D'Antoni and kind of see his concepts and what kind of plays we ran and how fast we played.
Yeah.
And that was his whole thing. He wants to speed up the game.
That was the breakthrough.
Yeah, he wants to get you in multiple positions, and it was fun. It was fun basketball to kick it out to Kobe, or D, and you've got Brian filling the lane, I'm filling the lane.
Did you just say it was fun to play basketball with Kobe?
It was fun, yeah, because he would go Kobe. I know Kobe's super serious. He was still Mamba. He had just lost the final, so he was, super Mamba at the time. But
nobody remembers that gold medal game, though.
He was amazing.
Which was a heated game.
Yeah,
That game was incredible.
I'm glad we had Kobe. We needed Kobe.
Yeah, Kobe kind of came through at the end.
That was
Everybody's
a tight
looking
game.
at each other like, all right, who's taking over? And Kobe's
Yeah.
like, I got this.
I remember it was kept going back and forth, and I'm like, yo, we can't stop these guys.
Yeah.
We can't
You
stop
had the Gasols. You had 17-year-old Ricky Rubio
It was
going
Juan
nuts.
Carlos Navarro.
Oh, yeah,
he
that's
was
right.
killing us.
Yeah.
And he started really turning it on in the fourth
I
quarter.
think he got a contract from that game.
Yeah, he played in the league the next
Yeah.
year for the next 4 or 5 years. Ricky Rubio was playing great, and just as a team, they were clicking. And Kobe came through, man.
That
he
would've
had
been
the
a tough
ball in
loss.
his hands late. Yeah, it was
That's not-
stressful. That
that's
wasn't
not-
as fun as it looked.
It didn't seem fun.
It was fun when we were kicking ass, but then we got to that gold medal game. It's, you start breathing a little harder. You that heartbeat. It's like, hey, slow down. What
By
are
the
you
way,
doing?
2012 London had a moment too. Were you
Did
on
it?
that team?
No, I was not
you
on
weren't
that team. I was hurt.
There was a moment when they couldn't get LeBron back in the game, and Spain was making a run, and it was the same thing. It was like, wait a second.
In the gold medal game?
Yeah, this is this is a moment. Things are happening.
Yeah, they were a good team. They had a lot of great players.
Yeah.
They don't get
You gotta play
notoriety for
together.
that international team, but they had, I think, probably 6 or 7 guys that played in the NBA.
You know what else I remember at the 2008 Olympics? You and Wade and LeBron and and Mickey Harrison's son all in a hotel room planning the decision 2 years later.
You remember that one?
I heard rumors.
That was a good
there was
one.
a maid. There's a maid who was cleaning the room and heard you guys talking about it.
I
She
didn't
emailed
even know.
me
I didn't even know Nick. I knew him, but I didn't know he was
until he
the son of
masterminded
Mickey
the whole
Harrison.
decision
Yeah,
thing.
then when we start masterminding everything, it's like, oh, hey, I thought you were, Nick Harrison. That's cool.
So what did he do? He got room service and then he laid it out.
Yeah,
was there
just
did
like
he write it out
fries
on a
and shakes,
whiteboard?
fries and shakes, and
So 2 years from now, your contract's up. Your contract's up. We'll create the cap space. By the way, I 100% believe this. I know I said I'm kidding.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't happen.
Okay.
Man. I mean, we're not that smart. I would have.
You made a pact never to admit it publicly.
Yeah, I mean that's true. You're right. So we'll never know, man.
It's one of my favorite conspiracy theories.
That's going to be the funnest part. I think that's going to be one of the funnest part because nobody really knows.
Yeah.
So like that'll kind of always be a thing.
Add the mystery to it. It was
Yeah, I mean,
2:40
it's
in the
fun.
morning in Greece one night, and you
Yeah.
guys all looked at each other like, man,
Yeah,
let's play together in 2 years. This would be great. We'll kick everyone's ass.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. We're going to be hated at first, but you know how that
then
goes.
we'll win some titles.
Yeah.
Let's take one more break. We're going to take one break here. Has your company outgrown QuickBooks? Are shared spreadsheets, manual processes, and legacy systems costing you time and money? Introducing Netsuite by Oracle, the business management software that handles every aspect of your business in an easy-to-use cloud platform. Save time, money, unneeded headaches by managing sales, HR, and finance and accounting instantly right from your desk or even your phone. Thousands of the best-known and fastest-growing companies use Netsuite to manage their business, and now it's available to you. Don't miss out on unleashing your business's full potential with their free guide, Crushing the 5 Barriers to Growth. Learn how to acquire new customers, increase profits, and finally get real visibility into your cash flow. Get NetSuite's guide, Crush the 5 Barriers to Growth, at netsuite.com/BS right now. Once again, netsuite.com/BS. And again, it is free. Meanwhile, let's talk about the boatload of money you can make this week betting at MyBookie. If you haven't checked them out, it's perfect time to get into the action. The madness of March is here. You like that, Tate? The madness of March? I think it's a little twist. Lay down some money. Score big on college hoops. They have odds for everything. Live betting, an all-new prop builder where you can create your own bet slips. Bet your friends that Mike Dunleavy Sr. will run out of timeouts with 5 minutes left this weekend. Whatever you want. Bet it at MyBookie. Put your money where your mouth is. Bet from your desktop, tablet, on their world-class mobile site. Anywhere, anytime, MyBookie offers the fastest, no-hassle payouts when you win. Join now. MyBookie will match your deposit with up to a 50% bonus. Use promo code Bill Simmons when making your account. You can even enter for a chance to win their $1 million bracket challenge. Visit mybookie.ag today and bet on the internet's favorite sportsbook where you play, you win, and you get paid. If you listened to Tate and Titus last week, you would add Michigan in the Big Ten. Hey, let's get back to the one and only Chris Bosh. So, when was your last NBA game?
I forgot the day, but it was Thursday or Wednesday against the Spurs.
But what year was it?
What year is this year? It's 2018. It was 2016, the game before All-Star break.
You came back a little bit, and then you
I
were
played
gone.
every game that year.
Oh, I thought you had. Remind me the
That
sequence.
was the last year. So
Yeah.
2015, I had blood clot issue. I had pulmonary embolism. I was hospitalized for about 2 weeks or something like that. I had to get my lungs drained, fluid from my lungs drained.
Was this life-threatening in the moment?
Yeah, it was life-threatening
Yeah.
in the moment. And so, like, I didn't know it was life-threatening. And they were like, yeah, we're going to check you into the hospital. And as I'm being checked in the hospital, I see that, like, we just traded for Goran. And, like, I'm like, okay, I don't know what all this stuff means. But then they start hooking me up to machines. And they start telling me, oh, the next 24 hours is crucial. Then I had to call my wife. And she Googles blood clots. And was it who had just passed? I think who had just passed? Kersey, Jerome Kersey. Did he? I don't want to say the wrong name. He's still alive, but I think it was Jerome Kersey, and he had just passed. And so she's freaking out. I'm freaking out. And it just kind of turned this thing. And then when I think I'm going to the hospital, they're like, yeah, no, we've got to do surgery on you.
Wow. So
I
you
had
found that out pretty quickly.
I found that out 4 days later.
Yeah.
Been in the hospital for 4 days. I'm like, all right, I'm going home. They're like, yeah, we got to do surgery on you tomorrow morning. We've got to really just go in there and clean it out. And so I had surgery and was there for another week. And it was a very interesting time, very, very tough time in my life. And then after that, came back the next year, and then going into All-Star break. Played every game and then going into All-Star break, felt a little soreness in my calf. I'm like, let me just make sure everything's cool and everything. And then it was like a distal blood clot or whatever. But when you say that, it's like everybody just jumps for the moon. It's like, oh my God. And,
right.
The season was a wrap. Tried to get back, but it just didn't work.
Did they ever tell you why they thought you had this? Just total fluke or?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, I don't have hereditary markers. That's the first thing they check for is it hereditary, and it's not hereditary. So there's really no explanation. I mean, we can theorize. That's a whole nother, if you like conspiracy stuff, you can really get into medicine. You'd be,
Jesus.
You don't want to deal with that stuff.
I was really worried about you beyond the normal reasons, just because, I was in Boston when the whole Reggie Lewis thing happened, and they had a disagreement with the doctors, and I was at the game when he basically passed out in Charlotte in the playoff series, and we thought he pulled a hamstring or something. And I was sitting in the tunnel, he walked right by us, and it was like, oh, I wonder if he's gonna come back. And that was the last time we ever saw him wearing a Celtic uniform. And then there was this back and forth about whether he should play again or not, and found this one doctor who cleared him, and they brought him back, and he died 2 months later.
Yeah.
And after that, I was just like, don't trust the one doctor, trust the. So when it was going through with you, I was like, I really hope he talks to as many people as he possibly can.
Well, the thing about it is, it hasn't been talked about. That's the problem.
Yeah.
There's nothing. They treated me just like they treated an 80-year-old patient.
Yeah.
So there's one size fits all.
Yeah.
It's not a plan. It's not a program. They don't know when. They don't follow up and say, hey, it's been 6 months or it's been X amount of time. Make sure you do this. There's no plan for that. They just put the medicine on you and any questions, and that's it. And this could be months later, weeks later, years later for some people. So
you had to reconcile as an athlete basically in the prime of his career.
Yeah,
what
and
it's
it's in my calf. It's a distal vein. That was the whole argument. It's a distal vein. Here it's not in a big vein, and it's in my calf. It's just weird. And I think it's one of those things. If you it's a box you don't want to open.
Yeah.
Because if you test guys for that, you probably find some information you don't want to find out. So it's just one of those things, and for whatever reason, I'm in this position, and it's been a blessing really, because I've been able to do other things and see kind of things from another perspective, and it's kind of whack to kind of be in that position because of that. I felt that we had a great team that year. I wanted to compete for a championship. I wanted to get back to the throne, and it would have been classic to play Cleveland that year. That's all that was on my mind, was to get to the Eastern Conference Finals and compete. Once you're there, we felt that we had a chance if we get there. And I had all these factors that I was playing in my head. I'm like, all right, and it happened exactly the way that I thought it would, playing Toronto. Cleveland's there, and I couldn't do anything about it.
How long did it take you to come to grips with everything?
2 years. 2 years, and that's just for that, that particular point in my life. It's tough, man. I mean,
you've been playing basketball since when? Since you were
since I was
3?
8 years old.
Yeah, 8.
Well, I could picked up a basketball a long time ago, but organized since I was 8, 9 years old. And it's you're kind of at a space where it's like, oh, well, what do I do now? What am I even thinking about? What even do I like? And then you become bitter, and it's just like a lot of stages you kind of have to beat. But I was in the middle of more work. I still wanted to it was like that last thing to be solidified, to be like, oh, he was pretty good. It was like the superficial muscles. It's like, okay, I'm in shape, but now I'm just doing my curls.
Yeah.
Just working on my beach muscles. You know what I'm saying? Because we about to hit it. And, if I do come back, it won't be in that capacity.
Right.
It'll be like end of the bench team guy. Blow the dust off of him if see if he can do it.
Well, the silver lining is, so let's say you're not a professional athlete. Maybe you don't even know you have this. And then, like if you're just a normal person, like an accountant or something, like maybe how would you even know there was something wrong until maybe it's too late?
That's true. That's very true. And I mean, that's very true. And I mean, it got very bad. I mean, I knew because the first time my lungs were collapsed and I was like having pains.
What the hell's going on?
Yeah, it was like something is wrong. And then like a month later, then I went. So I was very lucky and very fortunate. I think about those things every day because it could happen any day. But, it didn't. And the second time, it's funny, like you were saying, everybody asked, are you okay? Are you okay? Like, I'm fine. It's just like you doing what you do now. And then tomorrow, sit over here and you just got to chill. And that was it. And so.
And that's where the bitterness comes in.
Yeah. I mean, not anymore. Yeah. That's where it came for a while. Because you feel like it's some unforeseen force that kind of makes things happen or whatever. But I didn't think of it like that for too long because there's no reason to. You have to keep moving. It's not going to change your situation. So you might as well kind of take it and work with it. Do you get along with the Heat now or no? Yeah, me and Pat had lunch like 2 months ago. Great. Yeah. I mean, look, it's business. I understand that. I understand the situation that they were in. I mean, it's they're also aspects. Worried about you as a human being too. Well, I mean, and they're worried about me as a human being, but it's also business. It's also business. Yeah. And they have a ship to run. Yep. And we had many conversations. I sat down with Mickey. I sat down with Pat many times, and sometimes we were disagreeing, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, we both got what we wanted. We both got severance, and that's what it's about. Yep. And after that, it was like, okay, we moved on our separate ways. And even after that, I saw Pat a couple months ago. He was, around, and we sat down, had lunch, and we didn't even talk about us in basketball much. We just talked about like life and the 80s. Right. Well, as a basketball fan, there was a last chapter of your career that didn't happen. It would have been really interesting to watch you hitting your mid-30s, late 30s with how basketball is played. Because remember, like Sam Perkins? Yeah. He stayed till he was like 48. He was shooting threes. He was like 300 the first pounds. Stretch 5. Because he couldn't run. He could only run from three-point line to three-point line. Yeah. But I feel like you could have played till you were like 42, 43, maybe. Yeah, I was trying to work on that game. I was working on that game to sustain my ball playing. And that was the next phase in my career to be like, all right, I'm going to still be an all-star every year. I mean, I'm going to come back, and this is what I do, and we're going to be successful. And I've been baptized by greatness, so I'll be back on the stage. And that's how I felt. And that's what I was working towards. That was my new goal. But, for whatever reason, we weren't able to pursue that. It's still up in the air. But, it's 2 years, 2 valuable years that aren't dedicated to basketball. But it's been even better because I've dedicated that time to my family. I've dedicated that time to being a father and a husband. And you have how many kids you have now? I have 5. My God, what are you doing? Stop having kids. I did. That's crazy. I know. 5 kids. Yeah, I got 5, man. So every day is an adventure. 2. You get used to it. I mean, it's just 5. There's one that's just going to be crazy, and you just gotta let that one go. That one's going to move out when they're 15, and they're just going to be gone. We'll always have a close hand on them. But wait, Dad, I'm out. Yeah, I mean, but I'm moving to Miami. Yeah, no. You're 15. You can't move to Miami. Yeah, I'll step in. I'm like, all right, that's enough. Dad's here. I hear you. Dad's stopping that one. But I've gotten a chance to really dive into that and be a part of that and more, and you realize how much you miss as an athlete, and then you realize that there are so many other things out there in the world to pursue, and I've really been exploring my creativity, especially with the kids. I mean, I was sitting down painting with them. My son is into Minecraft. I had to go get him a computer and load the software and everything, and just like go on these other different journeys, and it's like a brand new world. You know?
I can identify a tiny bit because, like, when I left ESPN abruptly, and I had basically 5.5 months until I knew my next thing was starting.
Yeah.
And you have that first couple weeks, and then it gets quiet.
Real
and
quiet. Well,
then
in
you
my
figure
case,
out,
not as noisy. In my
yeah,
case,
well,
it's
but
the kids.
that's it. You have your family. But professionally, there's just all of a sudden there's no noise, and it's just you, and it's like, I'm gonna hang out with my kids today. It's like, wow, this is kind of cool.
Yeah,
I like this. Oh, you
Yeah.
want to go to the movies? Yeah, I'd love to go.
yeah.
And
I mean,
then
it's
all of a
right.
sudden it's Wednesday, and it's like, oh, I don't even care what day it is.
Well, I mean, I wasn't in that aspect because my kids were in diapers. You know, I think we had like 3 or 4. Well, we had 3 diapers at the time.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so
That's like my worst nightmare.
yeah, that's tough. Now it's a little easier.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, come on, we're going with Dad, and I can fix a mean
It's good when you
snack
can
bag.
hand him the iPad and then it can be quiet
Man,
for 40 minutes. That's
iPad
where you
and
want to
snack
get
bag.
to.
All right, cool,
Yeah.
let's go. And,
Yeah.
and we can go. But when they're, when it's a stroller and a diaper bag and a snack bag and sippy cups and bottles, that's tough, man. And we had a
Crumbs.
lot of that at the same time.
Jeez.
Crumbs, they're gonna do that. I think
Crumbs are gonna still
I think you
happen.
keep doing crumbs until you're like 25.
Yeah.
I think that's like the
I think
cutoff
you're right.
age. But it's been great, man. I mean, I've been able to do so many cool things, and I've been able to reflect on basketball and what it means to me, and how it's kind of been my journey and everything, and what I'm going to do with it in the future.
There's no chance you play again, right?
No, there's a chance.
There's a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
There's a chance.
What chain of events would have to happen?
Oh, I would talk to a team, which I've talked to guys, and they're because, like I said, there hasn't been a plan, So if a team creates that plan, then we can go from there. But we've explored those things, and it's a lot of work. We don't have the resources to do the research and everything. But if it's important enough to a team to, devise that plan and talk on the phone and talk to the doctor's insurance and all these things, then yeah, we can talk about it. But me as an athlete, I just feel that it's something that I have to pursue. I mean, it just left in the middle of the night pretty much. And
So you're 34, 35 now?
I'll be 34 this month.
34, okay.
Yeah. Am I 30? Yeah, I'm 30. Yeah, 34. I'll be 34.
So you're watching these old Sam Perkins highlights and getting
And
fired
I'm
up.
getting
You're
ready.
like, look at
I'm
Sam,
fired.
he's 50.
I'm going to the gym tonight.
Shooting
But yeah, I
some
mean, it's
threes.
worth exploring. And worst case scenario, if it doesn't work out, I'll be in phenomenal shape. So that's all that matters to me.
And there's media stuff too, not just this podcast.
Yeah, I mean,
but
there's a
you've
lot of
dabbled. You
things.
dabbled on Countdown. You dabbled on TNT.
Yeah, dabbled on Countdown.
Did you do
Turner.
Area 21 yet?
No, I haven't done that one yet.
Man.
One day.
You better have a lot of coffee before that one.
Oh, you know how KG is, man. He's ready to
KG.
go.
You
But,
got
I mean,
you get along with him now.
yeah, it's great. I mean,
He
talking
probably
to him
insulted you a few times in 2011.
one time, and then I was like,
2012.
I'm not getting into you with you anymore. You got me, and he tricked me, and I never talked trash to him again. He'd be rah, rah, like 3 inches from my face. I'm like, you're not getting me, bro. I fell for it once, and no, never again. Never again. But yeah, I get to dabble in that. I'm working on my YouTube channel and stuff like that, and just trying to figure out, the thing. I mean, it's an interesting age that we're living in right now. So
Yeah.
I kind of want to dabble in everything and see what kind of sticks.
I have the most important question I'm ever going to ask you. I think you were a rookie on Vince Carter's team when he got traded.
It was my second year when he got
The
traded.
second year. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It really bothers me that there's this revisionist history with the Vince Carter thing, and now they're thinking about retiring his number and all that, because I always felt like he quit on Toronto that year.
Mm-hmm.
And you were there,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone says Vince Carter's a good guy. I'm not saying he's not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you liked him as a teammate. But I really feel like that year he didn't want to be there anymore, and he kind of tanked the situation, and the stats back that up.
Have you seen the
Is
Carter
that a
effect?
fair? I
That's
have not
fair.
seen the Carter effect.
That's
Is that a
fair.
fair comment?
That's a fair comment. But what people have to remember, he was 24, 25.
Okay.
He was a kid.
Yep.
They had just got to the second round. They pushed Philly to the second round, probably feel that they could have won that or at least competed in the finals that year.
Yeah.
and they had a great team moving forward. Injuries start piling up. Then it was all on Vince. I didn't realize this until I watched The Carter Effect. You have to watch that movie whenever it comes out. But looking back on the story, he was having a tough year the year before. They had a losing year, and he probably wanted out. They didn't really go the direction, that ended up being successful. And I don't think he agreed with those things. I don't think he agreed with the front office. And this is just me, my opinions. Yeah. But just me looking outside, looking in. I think he was just in a tough place. And, yeah, did the numbers reflect? Yes. And
so were you mad when he went to New Jersey and all of a sudden he's putting up 28 a game? And he's Vince Carter again?
You knew. I mean, you see it and you know. Vince probably other than until Bron came along, he was the most talented basketball player I've ever seen.
I would say so. To me, it's like him and T-Mac, I think, are the two from that decade that I remember going to a T-Mac game once in Boston when he was at the Orlando peak of his powers. I was like, oh my God, what the hell is this? This 6'8" guy who could do everything.
He was 6'10".
Yeah, or whatever. Yeah.
He was 6'10".
He was ridiculous.
It's hard.
Davis is like that now. And I wrote about Davis last week on The Ringer. Like, I watched Davis. I'm like, what the hell is this? What's happening?
I remember playing him on Christmas and me in my mind, I'm like, I have to get back to this point. This is important for me. I have to have a good game. We have to win. We're going to the playoffs this year. I'm playing this young guy. And I remember guarding him, and he gave me, it was about 5 plays in a row. He went to him. He scored 3 out of 5. I remember thinking, like, man, I can't stop this guy.
Ooh.
He doesn't know that. I didn't tell him at the time, but I remember he gave me a move, gave me 2 moves, went by me, and then he jade me. Jab, jumper, pop. I said, oh, boy. And, I get him on the ISO. I can't even get my shot off. I'm scared to shoot a jumper. He might block it.
Well, he's got the freak arms.
Yeah, he's quick off the ground. He's deceptively quick.
How many guys have you felt like you couldn't stop?
Just like him, KG.
Early KG.
And you know who else, man, used to kill me?
Who?
Louis Scola.
Oh,
and
wow.
Al Jefferson.
Oh, because they're old school moves.
Couldn't stop them. They would kill me, man. I was like, hey, somebody get him. Switch. I'd be like, UD, help me, man. You get this dude, man. Al Jefferson would annihilate me. One game, Brian had 60. I'm lucky he had 60 because Al had like 38 and like 18.
Yeah.
I couldn't, man. It's just those strong, big body guys who are crafty. I couldn't do anything with those guys.
The guy who's like that now is Jokic.
Oh, yeah. See, he'd be like a guy, I'm about to kill this young. Like, man, he scooped me. He got the scoops.
Yeah.
Big body, skilled, crafty. Those are the guys that used to just, man, kill me on the court.
I have the second most important question I'm ever going to ask you. Let's talk about Jalen Rose as a teammate quickly.
As a who?
As a teammate. He came to the T-Dot.
Yeah.
And he claimed he took you under his wing.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He taught me a lot of things.
This is great. He taught me a lot of things too. This is the only time we've been on complete common ground in this podcast, because I've also learned a lot of things from Jay.
Jay Rose, he was very he taught me how the way the league works and how it moves. I think he was one of those guys that he understood too well. He understood how to use the media.
Yep.
He understood, how to kind of position himself in a way to where, he can get the ball on the court.
Interesting.
And he was very talented. I mean, I didn't know he was that tall, but playing with him, it's like, wow, I'm playing with Jalen Rose, and you see how good he is. He was one of the first guys I saw with the true old man game. Like, handling it, and then back you all the way down. He was the guy. He give like 8 up fakes. He had his left shoulder. That was his move. Turn, do like 8 up fakes. You wouldn't jump. Pop, dot you right in the eye.
He still has that game, by the way. We played pickup like 4 years ago, and these guys talk shit, and he did that back down spin move thing,
like, man, come on
where
now.
it's like he's rotating back and forth. All of a sudden, he's 2 feet from the basket.
Oh, he got that
like,
big body now. You can't stop him, man. But he taught me a lot of ways how to move off the court and what to look out for and what to look for, in dealing with people, in dealing with media.
Women?
Yeah, women, that too. I mean, not that much. I was a shy kid.
Nightclubs?
Yeah, clubs,
Did
Those
you
import-
champagne and campaign with him?
Nah, not that much.
Okay,
a
good.
couple times.
That's good.
A couple times.
That's
But,
probably for your benefit.
Yeah, he threw some birthday parties, and Toronto was fun. It was a fun town. That was that's before everybody knew about it. It's like before Drake.
That's what he's mad that Drake kind of shined a spotlight on Toronto.
Yeah,
It was like the under the radar
that's
place.
my spot, man. I think a lot of people feel like that because it's like, man, Toronto, that was like a hidden gem. Now everybody knows about it.
You think they can make the finals?
Yeah,
I did too.
they're pretty good, and that's what's messed up about playing in Toronto. And I don't feel right if I don't give them their due. They're first place in the East. They're 3.5 games behind the best record in the NBA. Nobody's talking about it.
They're 2.5 behind the Warriors.
Is it 2.5?
Yeah. I think
2.5.
3 in the loss column. And,
Come on.
Yeah.
Nobody's even talking about him. In this day and age where everybody watches their screens everywhere, nobody's talking about
You know what
the
happened to
Raptors.
them? Because last year they had their moment with nobody's talking about the Raptors. Watch out for them. And
Yeah.
then Cleveland just killed them. So now I think people just assume
they
that's going
went
to
to
happen
6,
again.
though. They should have went to 7, but they went to 6. But, I mean, my point is that DeMar DeRozan isn't even top 2 in MVP category. They're talking about Anthony Davis before DeMar DeRozan. Both deservedly so. Harden's going to win it. We know that. But as far as 2 and 3 are concerned,
there's like a 4% Davis lingering possibility.
yeah, well, I mean, they're 4th in the West.
If they
now.
get
It's
the 3
crazy.
seed with that crap team he's on, then it has to at least the conversation has to be had.
You have to have those conversations. But my point is that usually in this instance, we're not even talking about it if you're first.
Yep.
It's not even conversation. It's Harden, it's DeRozan, and it's them two to duke it out. Not even talking about DeMar. And he's playing amazing basketball. Again, he's a perennial all-star.
And the coach is good. I
Dwayne Casey's doing a great
I
job.
was lukewarm on him for a while, but I think now he's in the top 5.
Yeah, he's doing a great job with that team. And if they have home court in the East, if you've got to go in there and win a game, good luck.
The best thing they have going for them, other than the fact that Cleveland's team isn't very good, is they own the Celtics.
Oh, do
And
they?
yeah,
Okay.
it's just a bad matchup.
One
And
of the matchup
maybe it
things,
could
yeah.
flip when we get to the playoffs, but it's just
Well, the game
DeRozan.
slows down.
They can't guard DeRozan. There's nobody in the team that can really get him.
Yeah.
Jonas has killed them.
Yeah, I think
Forever.
I think they can make the finals, man. They have the pieces and they have the confidence and they've got that teamwork and they've got the spirit in the city. And I think you combine all those things, and they have the underdog effect because even if they play Boston, they're going to be an underdog.
Nobody
in that
believes in
series
us, yeah, all
because
that stuff.
nobody knows.
Yeah.
Nobody's pumping the story. So, I think for them, yeah, they can make the finals.
What do
But,
you see with Cleveland?
man?
You know what I
Coming
see?
to Jesus and figuring it out.
Yeah, you know what I see is there's no Kyrie Irving and no second guy that he knows he can count on every
Yeah,
night.
that's important.
He had 2 in Miami. He's got 0 in Cleveland.
Well,
other
I
than
mean, yeah,
himself.
guys,
If Love can come back in time, maybe
yeah,
that's
but he's not that kind of player. He's a post-up, grinded-out player. He's that guy that, if you do get in that boxing match on the ropes,
Who's
can
the second
kinda-
guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in the fast-paced style, he's going to spread the court and he's going to get second-chance points and rebounds. The post-play, all they're going to do is double, and you can force that, but it's tough.
They have a lot of dudes who have not been there before, which is
Yeah,
another
and that's
that
the
makes
thing,
me
too,
nervous.
and they,
like
they
Rodney
make a
Hood
trade.
is fine on paper, but let's see, Game 6 down 3-2, 2 minutes left, down 5.
Yeah, that's
and
a hell
he's
of
in
a
the
time.
corner and he's got to make a shot or they're going home.
That's a hell of a time to figure
Yeah.
out, who it is. But you have to go through those moments. And for them, they don't have the experience. But it'll be very interesting to kind of see, who and who does what and if they rise to the occasion. Because we know what Brian's going to bring. Yeah, but who's going to be those other guys to say,
Did you feel like he was leaving in 2014?
No.
Didn't see that coming at all.
No. Didn't see it coming. I was on vacation. I was in Ghana. We were doing basketball camps in Ghana when I found out. And, I didn't know. I mean, I was just busy on vacation and then free agency started, and I'm glad I was out of America But yeah, I mean, it just kind of went on, and then days start passing by, and it's like, okay, well, let me take care of what I need to take care of, and be a free agent while I can. And yeah, I mean, the longer it went, that's not good for us, right? So, and it put me in a position where, yeah, I don't know where I'm playing.
Yeah, because you almost signed with Houston.
Yeah, me and my wife were looking up houses.
I'm friends with the GM, and there was a 3-hour window where he was like, we got Chris Bosh. Yeah, we saw Daryl.
He tells me that every time. Yeah. Like, we should have got you, man. He's like...
He texted me. It's like, we got him. And then like 3 hours later, it's like, we didn't get him.
Yeah, it was in the 25. I was at a camp in Ghana. We were doing basketball without borders with the USA, the NBA. I'm saying you with the USA, with the NBA, and we're with kids at a camp, and like they're doing a dunk contest. So it's like I'm just on the court with the kids, and we're having a good time. And so, you know, I started getting information. I got information from LeBron, you know, and then all the information started going everywhere. A few minutes later. And then I remember, like, you know, it's a dunk contest. They trying to be official, so they got the microphone, a loudspeaker. Dude's looking at his phone. He said, "Oh, we've got big news." I stood up and looked at him and was like, "Don't say a word." And he said, "Oh, okay." I gave my phone to my wife because my phone started going crazy. And I knew I was going to be on the phone, like, all night because we were still doing this camp, and it was evening time, but it was still, like, afternoon, early morning or something like that back in the States. And so, yeah, that's when, I was on the phone with Houston, and then Miami called, and then it was, like, kind of crazy for a while. And so I had a decision to make, and I didn't think I was going to be in that position.
Houston wasn't a bad alternative.
It was not a bad alternative.
James Harden's good at basketball.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to James. Talking to Dwight was playing at the time.
Did James have to step outside from the strip joint to try to recruit you? It's like, hold on, I just got to settle my bill.
Hey, what up, CB?
Hey, hold on.
It was great,
I'm
man.
on stage number 2.
Yeah, he came out. We were talking, and then like they start upping the pressure. I was talking to everybody. I was talking to Mikael was the coach at the time. Had a conversation with him. And then was having conversations with Miami. And
at what point did Riley just do the Pat Riley on you?
At the end. Yeah, I didn't have that many conversations with Miami. It was just the offer. We'll call you back, and then, hey, we're going to make you an offer. They made the offer, and I said, okay, just give me an hour because I wanted a break.
He didn't do a Pat Riley speech on you?
No, there was no need. There was nothing to say.
He didn't do the...
He gave it to me already, like 4 years before.
A man takes care of his... Oh, yeah, that's right. You got it 2010.
Yeah, I got it all. And then in the years
Did he put the rings on the table?
Yeah, it was one, but he had a whole bunch of different versions of one. So,
what was it? Wait, are you going to tell me more?
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember exactly what he said. It was a very moving speech. But he pretty much, his message was, before he started talking, he put the championship rings out and was like, that's what it's about.
Good start.
Yeah, I'm listening. Okay. And then he was like, we have an opportunity for this and that to happen, and this is what we need because you seem like this sort of guy.
Yeah.
He starts relating to you, and then you say you're tired of, his thing, tired of banging your head against the wall. I'm sure he said that in many press conferences. And then, yeah, he's like, yeah, you're right. And then, he's just like, yeah, you can sell water to a well, man. But he didn't. This situation didn't call for it because I had an offer. So it was very quick. And then, they told me the number, and I said, "All right, let me call you back."
Yeah.
Hung up the phone and looked at my wife. Yeah, so we've got this. She's like, "Oh, okay, great." And I'm gonna go sit down for a minute and kind of process this.
Yeah.
And then, my phone was really blowing up. But then I made a decision, and it ended up working out. I mean, I only played, how many games after that? Like 80 games.
Signing with them was the right move.
It was the right move.
Plus, you would kind of become. I wanted to see what you could do as the lead guy too.
And it was a chance to kind of shake off the dust and get back to that place because that's what people are expecting of me now. Oh, we get Toronto, Chris Bosh. Like, man, I'm way better than that. You know what I mean? It's like, why would I go back? And it was just a chance to evolve my career. And it was good. It spiced up the league a little bit. It got competitive, with Brian for a little bit. And it was a good time. I'm glad I made it.
I actually really liked what Riley said before LeBron left when he had that press conference and he was like, crusty old man. And he was like, this is what happens. Sometimes you don't win the title and you got to handle it like a man. And
Yeah.
he was, but he basically made the mistake of calling out LeBron. I don't think it helped. But I liked what he said. I kind of agree. Like, teams aren't supposed to win the title every year.
Yeah.
You have ups, you have downs. Like his
Retool.
Lakers
That
team.
was the thing. Retool.
Yeah.
You got to retool.
You get the hunger back. You add a couple pieces. You try again.
And I mean, yeah, that's up for debate. A lot of the times, that's the age that we live in now. It's up for debate. Before, people would be like, "All right, coach, you're right." Now it's like, I don't agree with you. Or I hear you, but free agency is free agency, and I'm going to make the best decision I feel that, and be unapologetic about it. And that's kind of the situation that we confronted that year. But it ended up working out for me. I made more money, so that's cool. And then things kind of worked out. And unfortunately, I didn't get to play the whole entirety of the contract. But that's, for me as a competitor, that juiced me up and gave me more motivation as a player to do my job every night.
I always felt like LeBron left Miami because Cleveland was actually, in a weird way, a better basketball situation.
Yeah, I think.
I never bought that whole "I'm coming home." It's like I just thought it was bullshit.
It's calculated.
Wade was at the tail end of. He was about to head into a different phase of his career.
Kyrie had just got the All-Star MVP that year.
You were still in your prime.
Yeah.
But he had Kyrie, and they had that number one pick that he knew he could get Kevin Love with, and they had a ton of cap space.
And another number one pick.
It was a better situation.
Yeah, they had.
So for him, like, to be like, "Oh, it's time to come home," it's like, "Yeah, you're going home. That's much better." What are you talking
yeah,
about?
you could plug him right away.
Yeah,
and they could, they went to the finals that first year. But I mean, it's a thing that we had to deal with and learn, and that's a part of the story, and that's kind of what makes it cool too. Just looking back on it, because things happen, and things happen the way you don't want them to. And we would have been just the old dudes if he would have came back. And
that would have been fun, though. I like the old dude stage. Don't sleep on the old dude stage. It's
but man, you get there and you lose a lot. You get there. Look at Brady. I mean, two of the last 3 years, 3 of the last 4 they've gotten there, right? And they win 1. That's cool, but
they got 2.
You're 40 and you
wait. Don't short me a Super Bowl.
2 of 4. They lost 2.
They lost the AFC title game and then the Super Bowl.
AFC title.
Yeah, 2 out of the last 4.
Yes, and but it's still at the mountaintop, and you get there, and it's like you're 40, and these young dudes running around, and you're just trying to get it one more time, and you lose sometimes. That's a part of the game, and you get all the way, and you're playing a hell of a team, and you get beat by another champion, and that's kind of the thing you have to accept. But it's good to watch, but it's tough to go through that shit. It's tough, man.
How many years do you think LeBron plays? Is that 15 right now?
Till he's 40.
I think 40 and he's out.
40 plus. Unless something happens where he's like, man, all right, I'm going to do this. But I've never met someone who just hoops. You put a basketball in here with a Nerf basket, he'll start shooting shots. I think he's just one of those guys.
That's kind of like what Brady's like.
Yeah, I mean,
Brady's like that weird Facebook show he did that I actually kind of like, but all he wants to do is play football and prepare to play football. And it's like,
that's
it.
does.
That's his entire life.
I'm taking care of my body. I'm eating these veggies.
It's kind of what LeBron is like, right?
Yeah, I mean, he translates that into his body, and by the time he's done playing, he will be a master in kinesiology.
Yeah.
He's learning his body. He's learning how to perform and get the most out of his body, and he's learning how to just the older you get, you're like Indiana Jones on the quest for the fountain of youth. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're on a quest, and you have to go find these different things so you can continue to elevate your game.
The problem is when you get older, you saw it happen with Kobe, because I think Kobe was wired like that. But when you get hurt and you can't do that process for 6, 7, 8 months, and you have all the miles. Yeah, that's when it gets tough to get that back at that point.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I think
it's got to be every day, day after day after day. I think
Kobe was like, I'm done. I'm gonna go win an Oscar. This is too much. I'm gonna work on this Oscar now. So
I'm gonna tell stories.
Yeah, that's what Kobe was on. But I think that's the moment where he was at. We're like, damn, I'm mortal, and you start kind of realizing like, now barring that happening to LeBron, moving forward, I think he can keep going.
Kobe's next short film should be about the 2008 Olympics when he was in the next hotel room and heard you guys playing the whole Miami thing out. You three in the Harrison kid. That's it. I'm going to get that story at some point in my life. I'm getting everybody drunk one night. I'm getting that story.
He would have stopped. He was like, hold up. So we were hanging around. Kobe comes in. Hold up, act like we're just friends.
Hey, Kobe, what's happening, buddy?
Kobe, what's up?
Hey.
We're not masterminding anything, man. We're just here, just hanging out, just having a little, having some edamame at lunch.
Kobe's like, what's that whiteboard with Miami, the Knicks, and Chicago on it?
Yeah.
The Knicks would have been an interesting alternative.
Too much.
Too much? Too big of a fishbowl?
Yeah. Too much.
Too much for you or for LeBron?
Everybody.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if that was like that situation in New York?
Oh, my God.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, my God.
Just...
Well, Miami, it was like you guys could be super famous, but also under the radar.
Yeah,
that was always what amazed me about
small
South
market,
Beach.
big market, small market kind of
people,
deal.
People,
Miami could only take so many.
Yeah.
There's only so many hotel rooms.
Yeah.
Miami, New York is. That's the hub.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't work. It would have been broken promises, broken friendships. It just would have been all bad.
Houston's another one that is just under the radar. Huge city.
I think
NBA
Houston,
players
man,
love playing there.
Houston, man. What do you think about Houston this year?
I was really impressed Saturday night when the Celtics had them and we're about to close it, and Houston was just like, we're not losing. And they turned it up a notch. I liked it. Even though it made me mad, I was like, wow, that's a little toughness from them that I didn't expect.
What I like about Houston is that they can force, they're the grinded out team of the future, of now. So they can spread it, but they have very, very good ISO basketball players.
Harden's the
Harden's
best right
playing
now.
amazing. And he can step, and those threes he shoots is like, typically that's a bad shot. That's a bad shot.
Right.
But James Harden has got the ball and the game is tied, or you're up 3, down 3. You're just nervous in that situation. And Chris Paul too. He's a very good ISO basketball player. And they got Eric Gordon,
they're good
too.
shooters. Gordon's been good.
They have their system. They know what they do, and they're comfortable.
All right, so 27-game win streak Heat are playing them. Walk it through. Who's out there in crunch time? How do you handle this? You're going to end up on Harden, I think. They're going to try to switch it so that you're guarding him at the end of the game.
Yeah, but we didn't switch. We only switched if we had Bron. So one thing we probably do is...
But we're in a time machine now. I'm taking your team and putting you here.
Yeah, so what we do
would you
late
be
game,
switching in 18?
maybe
2018?
If it crunch time only,
yeah,
we're switching. But if they keep running the 5 up there, we'll put Bron on the 5. We'll put me on Ariza or somebody like that, and we'll switch that late game.
So who does Harden have on him?
Bron.
So everything you're doing is like it ends up no matter what the switch is, it's LeBron.
How do we get to that thing?
Yeah.
If we're playing Houston, Harden likes to, do the ISO late game. All right, cool. We're going to put Bron on the 5 because they switched. We're just going to switch that. And then Bron will be on him late clock. And that's the situation. If they want to get to that, they'll get to it. And that's how we're going to get, that's going to be our model if they, get the ISO.
What about Golden State when they're doing the little Curry Durant high screen on the right side?
Tough. That's tough. I don't know. That's a good one. We would just have to. It's just our system against their system, pretty much.
You just got to outscore them, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we weren't going to outscore you like that. We could, but
slow
that's
it down
not.
And outscore.
We want to slow you down, and we want to beat you up, and we want to we wanted to play fast and physical.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of a tough one. We would probably have to switch that. And, he's passing it back to KD on a mismatch, but we just go from there. We probably, maybe have D guarding Curry, maybe, and Bron on KD. The problem is Clay's on the weak side, and Curry is always, it's tough. And then our rotations, that's the tough part. That would be the thing. I'm not even thinking about KD and Steph right there. I'm thinking about everybody on the weak side because that opens it up for them, and that's what they want to be able to exploit you, and they're very good passers.
And Zaza would trip you at some point early in the series.
Yeah.
Get in your head.
Nah.
He'll knock you in a basket support.
Nah, I'd knock him too. Look, that's what I don't understand today. Everybody, Zaza, he's playing dirty. Yeah, of course. Hit him back. What happened to that? You know, what happened to the old school? He's just an old school player living in the new school rules. So it's like, yeah, he might push me in the stands. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to push you in row 2. How far do you want to take it?
Right.
Because I want to win, you know?
Well, you talked about earlier about the one time KG came at you.
Yeah,
And
he killed me. He crushed me.
And you figured out how to handle that, and the enemy always knows whatever. Like with Westbrook, I would be trying to get in that dude's head all the time because I think it's doable.
That's going to be his thing. He's so passionate.
Get him so mad and so get him in fifth gear, and then that's actually to his detriment.
Yeah, because you're not going to beat him in basketball.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, as a player, what can I
Make
do?
him beat himself.
What can I do to kind of ag him on a little bit? And that's the only thing. I mean, that's the only way you can beat Russell Westbrook and get him out of the game or get him flustered, you know. And I'm sure he knows that, and he continues to, you know, work on that. But then you run up against a guy who's doing it on purpose, and you feel like, where are the referees? Who's controlling the situation? You know who can control the situation? An elbow off the top rope like Randy Savage. that'll cure this whole situation and bring it to a halt.
All right, so we're gonna go Houston or Golden State.
I just want to see a
7-game series
honestly.
in Houston.
I think Golden State's tough to beat, man. Just based off of
I think
ball
Golden State's
movement.
gonna be fine.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Iggy
fun.
will get going. Their bench will get going. They need their bench to get going.
Yeah, but Houston has a bench. See, that's like the whole. They're polar opposites, but the same. They can both put up 130 on you. They can both defend top 5. You know, it just comes down to matchup, coaching, those other intangibles, and who plays their game. And the game slows down. That's more suited for Houston. But man, when that ball pops with Golden State,
wait, let's practice. You're on one of the studio shows now. Now your studio show, Chris Bosh.
yeah.
You're waiting your turn. Here are your 22 seconds to talk. Chris, what do you think happens in this series?
I think it all comes down to the ball movement. I think if Houston wins the turnover battle, if they can force Golden State into turnovers, if they can force them into low percentage shots, Houston's got a chance. But if Golden State averages 25, 30 assists a game, they're not going to get beat.
We'll be back after this. Chris Bosh, this was fun. I'm glad we finally did this.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
Keep in touch, man. We're here. You live near here.
Yeah,
Anytime you want to
I mean,
come talk hoops, man, we're here. We're ready for you.
You know what? You think about getting a podcast and stuff too.
Well, we happen to have a podcast network, so you tell us.
Okay, yeah, man. You know, tell
We'll
them
help
to make
you.
a deal, man. What's up?
Yeah,
And-
we'll do some negotiating. You brought a guy with a suit. We're going to have to talk to him after.
And I won't be here, you know. I'm not here. I'm just here for a little bit. I'm in Texas. Texas is, I'm part of the Lone Star State, so, but podcast is
You're a man of, you're Canada, you belong to Canada, you belong to the South, you belong to Texas.
Yeah, so, I'm telling Canada, I'm going to come up there. I see they're doing well, so I'm going to come out there and experience the playoff game out there. That's going to be amazing.
I feel bad for the family that is sitting on the plane with you and your 5 kids as they're all throwing tapioca at each other.
No, see, I don't bring the gang.
Good.
That's an
Smart.
in and out trip. That's like
Good.
20 hours and then back.
Good.
You
Smart.
You can't bring the gang, man. When we bring we roll like Prince Jaffe Joe.
Yeah, you gotta get your own jet for that one.
We got like about 8 cars.
Yeah,
the flags on the flags on the hood. You know what I mean? We're coming in there, chicks throwing flowers, and the princes and princesses coming out and getting their luggage, and then I get my one carry on, and then we roll. But it's too tough bringing all the kids, man. That's like. Yeah, that's vacation. If that's like a good or a bad thing, it's very good or very bad if you see with me with all my kids somewhere.
I'm gonna say almost all the time, kids' vacation. Somebody gets sick at some point. Somebody starts throwing up with like
it's
a day
work.
to go.
Nobody did on my last one though.
Oh man,
we took the kids. We took the kids to Montana. We did like a whole camping thing. It was cool, and then everybody had a great time. Only thing, it was cold. The weather didn't break all the way yet, but for the most part, nobody got sick. It was.
Well, you
great.
have a starting 5. Maybe you need a 6th man on out of these kids.
That'd be a draft. Draft or a sign or pick somebody off waivers. I'm not adopting right now.
Free
kids,
agent
so,
babysitting.
Yeah,
all right.
I'm not adopting.
Keep your eye on
kids,
the
so
Wojnarowski will break it when it happens. All right. Hopefully we'll see you soon.
Yeah,
this
man.
was fun.
Absolutely.
Thanks, man. Thanks
Appreciate
for the time.
It. Thanks
all right.
for having me.
All right, that's it. That was so much fun. Thanks to Chris Bosh. Thanks to ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. My listeners can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/BS. Thanks to Credible.com, where it takes less than 2 minutes to find out if you're overpaying on your student loans. You could save thousands by refinancing. Go to Credible.com/Bill. Answer a few questions. Right away, you'll get real rates, not ranges of rates from multiple lenders. Checking your rates won't affect your credit score. You really have nothing to lose. Right now, my listeners get a $200 welcome bonus when refinancing through Credible.com/Bill. Once again, that is Credible.com/Bill. Hope you enjoyed the 4 podcasts we put up this weekend. I had a blast. I'm excited for March Madness. When we come back on Monday, I will have a couple surprises in store for you. Until then.